Hi folks, it's Switchback. Winter is over and I say that there is no need to wait until summer to start camping. Spring camping is one of my favorite seasons. Things are just starting to warm up in a lot of places and very few places are going to be busy. It's not as hot as it is in the summer, especially at night. That makes it a lot easier for someone like me to sleep, but also to enjoy hiking and other outdoor activities. Few places will have fire restrictions that are pretty abundant during the summer, and with it not being as hot, you can enjoy a fire much longer. So be sure to bring extra firewood.
This ain't even all of it.
If you've been curious to snow camp, spring can be a great time to experiment with that without dealing with the depths of winter, but be aware that most places that get snow can get snow, of course, in the spring. Waterfalls are often off the hook this time of year, and then wildflowers are coming and going throughout the season. Milky Way season has just started as well, and if you're a nighttime photographer like I am, then that is a good thing. So if you like to get up in the early hours, that's the time to do it this time of year. And many of the places that we like to camp will of course have darker skies than what we might have at home, which makes it easier to see the Milky Way. You don't need to refresh your ice chest nearly as often with fresh ice, of course. Backpacking permits will be much easier to secure than they will be in the summer and the fall. And there's a much lower fire danger than there is in the summer and the fall, which unfortunately is a reality here in California and many other places. So where to go? Many campgrounds are not open yet, as some of them are seasonal and only open for the summer months or once the snow melts, etc. So it is important that you do your own research and don't just go out expecting to show up at some campground you saw listed somewhere, expecting to find a site. If you're unsure if they're open, then you can always call. If it's a private place, you can call our office. Otherwise, you can call the ranger station and verify if it's not clear online. And sometimes it's really unclear online. Spring is a great time to enjoy the desert where it's not yet too hot and the cacti are starting to bloom as well. In the West, you may want to stick with lower elevations because there are going to be more campground closures and of course more snow at the higher elevations. You'll want to get your gear out well in advance of your trip and check it over for any damage that needs to be repaired or any replacements that you need to make before your trip. You'll want to air things out, fluff them up, that kind of thing. If you have a choice, then, RV camping may be the way to go over tent camping for better protection from inclement weather and better temperature control. But I've done many years of tent camping all year round and really enjoyed it too. If you anticipate that it may rain where you're going, you may want one or two pop-up tents so that you have one over, say, the picnic table, one near the fire. Don't put it directly over the fire, but next to it where you can sit underneath. Of course, if it's going to be windy, that may not work. A few things to be aware of. Spring is also, unfortunately, mosquito season in many areas. Ticks and biting flies are also hatching just like mosquitoes are, so they may be abundant in many areas. Be sure to take precautions to protect yourself, and I have this video with a bunch of tips to help you with that. Animals, including predators like snakes and bears, may be coming out of hibernation. In fact, the most rattlesnakes I've seen were on a trip during the spring in April. The days are shorter in the spring than they will be in the summer, so bring ways to light your way to charge those things and ways to stay warm. If it tends to be wet in the spring or the snow is melting where you're headed, then be aware that campsites and trails may be muddy. Take some extra steps to keep that mud out of your tent or your RV. Having a bin for muddy footwear can be very helpful. We also use a mat on the bottom step of our entryway so that we can brush our feet off and help keep things out. As that snow is melting, the rivers may be very full and very cold. Since the nights will be colder, I would suggest you watch this video next to ensure that you stay warm and comfortable. Thank you so much for watching. I'll look forward to seeing you next time. Bye.